First up, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny marks a significant point in the history of U.S. coinage, being the first full year of coin production after World War II. After years of wartime restrictions on metals and production, 1946 was a year of recovery, which saw the reintroduction of the familiar Lincoln wheat design on the 1-cent coin. The minting of the 1946 pennies followed the end of the wartime emergency coinage, and while there were no major changes to the design, collectors were eager to obtain these coins after the war years. The mintage of the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is quite large, but it's still important to note that the condition of the coin can drastically affect its value. Typically, pennies minted in 1946 can be found in various states, but coins that remain in poor conditions, like those with color damage, scratches, and dirt, are typically much less valuable than well-preserved specimens. However, even coins in lesser conditions can hold potential, especially in rare market scenarios. The design of the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny remains consistent with previous years, featuring the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner on the obverse. The reverse displays the wheat stalks design, which has become iconic in the world of American numismatics. The 1946 coin also retained the copper composition, containing 95 copper and 5 tin and zinc. One important note is that there is no mint mark on the 1946 penny, which means it was produced in Philadelphia where no mint mark was used. This distinguishes the coin from others produced in San Francisco or Denver, which would carry their respective mint marks. Although the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny doesn't have major error varieties in terms of minting mistakes, coins that have sustained color damage or scratches during handling often carry an interest from collectors seeking coins with character. While these may not be as valuable as well-preserved pieces, the sheer age of these coins and their historical relevance make them attractive for certain collectors looking for coins with visible wear and tear. Coins with unusual attributes, such as extreme color shifts from patina or damage, can sometimes become valuable in niche collecting communities, especially if the condition is rare or if the coin has significant wear compared to the typical examples. The value of a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny in poor to fair condition with color damage, scratches, and dirt tends to fall within the lower range of collectible pennies. Typically, these coins might sell for anywhere between $15,000 depending on the auction's location and the demand at the time. If a coin in this condition is authenticated and features rare or unexpected damage, it may fetch slightly higher bids from collectors who are particularly interested in coins with notable wear or other unique characteristics. Despite its somewhat low value in poor condition, the sheer volume of the 1946 pennies produced each year means that collectors will often seek out higher-grade coins for their collections, and those coins can easily surpass the $100 or even $200 mark, depending on factors like unique qualities and historical significance. First up, the 1970 Jefferson nickel is an important coin for collectors, not only because of its design and minting, but also due to the unique conditions surrounding its production. The nickel features an obverse design of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, and the reverse features an image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. These designs were created by Felix Schlag, and they have been in use on the Jefferson nickel since its inception in 1938. However, the 1970 coin stands out for several reasons. The large date variety seen on the 1970 nickel, along with the presence of the mint mark S San Francisco, adds to its allure for collectors. Coins with the S mint mark from this era are generally considered rarer and more desirable due to their lower mintage compared to those produced at the Philadelphia or Denver mints. Despite the dirty condition of this coin, its value can still be considerable in today's auction market. A dirty coin, as collectors often note, is one that has not been properly cleaned or maintained and may have accumulated tarnish, discoloration, or damage from handling. While this can lower its immediate market value compared to a pristine example, the rarity of the coin still makes it attractive to collectors seeking to complete their collections. The 1970 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark carries the same design as other Jefferson nickels. On the obverse, Thomas Jefferson is shown in a left-facing portrait, and beneath him you'll find the inscription Liberty and the year of minting, 1970. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's plantation home, with the words Monticello inscribed above and a pluribus unum inscribed below. The presence of the S Mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint, which is known for producing coins with slightly different characteristics compared to those minted in other cities. This includes subtle differences in detail, sharpness, and finish, adding a layer of collectability to the... Though it might seem counterintuitive, coins in dirty condition can still fetch impressive prices at auction, particularly if they are rare or have desirable mint marks. The 1970 large-date Jefferson nickel with an S Mint mark can be worth between $59,000 or more, depending on its condition, despite the tarnish and discoloration. If the coin were in better condition, its value could easily rise significantly. In fact, a 1970 S Jefferson nickel in excellent condition could fetch upwards of $66,000 or more, making this coin a sought-after piece in the market. There is an active collector interest in coins with historical significance like the Jefferson nickel, especially when they are produced in limited quantities or when minting errors are present. The dirty condition of this particular coin does not deter collectors. Rather, it may even increase the interest for those looking for coins that tell a more authentic story of circulation. Although this coin does not exhibit any minting errors, its dirty condition might make it a fascinating choice for collectors who focus on as-is pieces. Such coins are often sought after for their history and the character that comes with the years of wheat. Next up, the 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny is a great example of pre-World War II coinage in the United States. It marks a period when the country was still recovering from the Great Depression and coin production had to navigate through financial challenges. The penny saw relatively high mintage levels during this time, and it was used extensively by the American public in everyday transactions. A total of 317,260,000 pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 1936. This high mintage may initially lead one to believe that the 1936 penny is not worth much. However, when compared with other years from the early 1930s, this penny holds value due to its relatively good condition and the low number of high-quality surviving examples. The 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny continued to feature the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was slightly modified in 1909 and remained unchanged for several decades. The reverse continued to feature two stalks of wheat, a design that symbolized America's agricultural roots. For this year, the coin retained the 95 copper composition, which gives it its characteristic reddish-brown color. The lack of a mint mark indicates that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. While the overall design is simple and elegant, it's the coin's condition and rarity in certain grades that make it attractive to collectors today. While there are no major errors associated with the 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny, some collectors are particularly interested in coins with notable wear patterns, unique surface textures, and even slight imperfections. In coins of fine condition, collectors might seek examples with smooth surfaces and clear detail, but even a coin with minor damage can attract attention. Collectors who specialize in low mintage or key date Lincoln pennies may take an interest in certain varieties of the 1936 penny, especially those with slight errors or non-standard characteristics that make them unique. The combination of the scarcity of fine-condition coins and the desire for coins from the Depression era has led to an increased collector interest in this year. The value of a 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny in fine condition can range from $28,000 depending on the overall market conditions. A well-preserved specimen might fetch more, potentially pushing its value into the $30,000 range. Since these coins are not rare but still hold significant interest, the value can fluctuate based on the bidding environment and the specific demands from collectors. The coin may increase in value if the auction market sees an influx of collectors looking for Lincoln Wheat pennies from the 1930s, particularly those in better-than-average condition. As with all collectibles, demand and rarity are critical components in determining market value, so the 1936 penny remains a sought-after item in many collectors' portfolios. Next up, the 1999 Jefferson nickel is a key coin for collectors due to the significant design changes that occurred at the end of the century. The obverse of the coin features the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, while the reverse depicts his home, Monticello. This coin is part of a transition into the new millennium, and its value lies not only in the design, but in the rarity of specific mint marks and variations, such as the ALBP mint mark seen on many examples. In 1999, the US Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels, but certain factors, such as production errors, aging, and minting anomalies, have contributed to the unique value of the 1999 P variety. Though the coin may not be rare in terms of mintage, the condition and the unique characteristics it possesses make it a sought-after collectible. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. The reverse, which depicts Monticello, has remained consistent for many years. The IP mint mark denotes that it was minted in Philadelphia, and this specific coin is characterized by its large date variation. Despite being a relatively modern coin, the 1999 Jefferson nickel is still considered a favorite among collectors because of its age and significance in the late 20th century. It is particularly notable when found in any condition, but can be of immense value when found in rare, mint-quality conditions or with noticeable errors. The value of the 1999 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark can vary greatly based on condition. In dirty condition, the coin may not fetch as much as a pristine example. However, its historical significance and collector demand still give it an estimated value ranging from $25,000 or more, depending on specific auction circumstances. The dirty condition of this coin can either lower or increase its value, as collectors often seek coins that retain much of their original mint luster. Some buyers are willing to accept coins with tarnish, dirt, or slight corrosion, while others prefer to wait for a cleaner example to hit the market. This coin's specific features, such as its larger date, add intrigue to its value. For instance, if the coin exhibits any noticeable minting errors, such as misstrikes, this can significantly increase its worth. Collectors show interest in the 1999 Jefferson nickel because of its place in American history. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation for over a century and each year brings minor changes to the design. The 1999 release was an important part of this tradition. As with many modern coins, there is a focus on the nuances of mint marks and the effects of production techniques, which is why specific years such as the 1999 P large date are highlighted for collectors. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln wheat series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. The coin was created to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. In 1956, America was emerging from the post-World War II, and the economic landscape was marked by industrial growth and the birth of the modern American middle class. The wheat penny series, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been one of the most beloved coin designs in U.S. history. However, by 1956, the design was beginning to show its age, with the wheat design being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Though production was large, this particular coin, in dirty condition and blackened, can be a rare find in the collector's market. The 1956 large-date Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark has a relatively high mintage of over 1 billion coins. However, the value of coins with such a high mintage usually doesn't skyrocket unless they possess unique qualities such as rare errors, low condition, or notable aging. In this case, the dirty, blackened condition of the coin adds to its rarity for collectors who seek out coins with such distinctive characteristics. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, which was the first U.S. coin to feature the profile of a president. The reverse of the coin has 2 stalks of wheat, which is where the coin earned its name. The large date style refers to the larger numerals used for the year 1956 on the coin. In this blackened, dirty condition, The coin has a heavily worn and tarnished surface. While most collectors seek coins in high grades like Mi-63 or better, there is still demand for such uniquely aged pennies, especially when they come with a fascinating story behind their appearance. While the 1956 Lincoln penny does not typically contain major errors, the blackened, dirty condition adds a unique appeal to error enthusiasts and collectors who love coins with stories. The wear and tarnish on the coin make it distinct, and its rarity lies in how it was handled or stored over time. Coins like this tend to attract collectors who are interested in coins with unique patinas or damage, as it gives the coin a history of its. Due to its worn condition, the market value of this coin will not be as high as a mint-state version. But even in dirty, blackened condition, it can fetch a decent price at auction. The coin could be valued anywhere between $63,000, depending on the extent of its wear and the current market demand for coins of this nature. In some cases, rare or unique coins can fetch even higher prices if collectors are particularly interested in them. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln wheat cent is part of the larger collection of coins that represent the final years of the wheat design, which had been in circulation since 1909. The Lincoln wheat penny design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and featured the image of President Abraham Lincoln. The coin was struck for nearly 50 years, a testament to its timeless appeal. The 1948 issue was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, as no mint mark is present. There were over 1 billion 1948 Lincoln wheat pennies minted in Philadelphia, but a combination of factors, including its age, wear, and the circumstances of its discovery, has led to increasing interest in certain examples too. The obverse of the 1948 penny features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, facing to the right. This iconic portrait was created from a 1909 photograph of Lincoln, which adds an emotional depth to the coin for history enthusiasts. The reverse showcases 2 stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent, reinforcing the name of the coin and its connection to American agricultural heritage. The coin in question is described as having a dirty lamination layer on both sides. This type of error occurs during the minting process, where imperfections in the metal cause layers to peel away, resulting in a noticeable difference in the surface texture. These errors are rare and highly sought after because they make the coin unique. While the dirty aspect may imply damage or wear, the lamination error adds a distinct feature that sets it apart from most other 1948 pennies. In terms of market value, a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny in this condition can fetch a substantial price, with certain auction results going as high as several $100s, depending on the severity and visibility of the lamination error. A well-preserved example could fetch up to $83,000 at auction, while coins in less than optimal condition, but with the error intact, might still reach values around $100,000 due to its rarity and the increasing interest in error coins. This particular variation remains one of the most collectible. If you enjoyed this video. Next up, the 1988 Jefferson nickel has historical significance as it is part of the era of nickel design stability. The coin was minted during a time when the US Mint had solidified its designs and the Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for decades. Although the design remained largely the same, the economic climate of the late 1980s led to increased demand for coin collecting. This resulted in a growing interest in coins from the 1980s, including the 1988 Jefferson nickel. In 1988, the Mint produced billions of Jefferson nickels, but certain variations, especially those with clear mint marks, were more desirable. The Mint produced coins in several mints, and the AP Mint mark on this coin indicates it was produced in Philadelphia. As with most Jefferson nickels, the 1988 coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. This design had become iconic and was featured on nickels for many years. On the reverse, the depiction of Jefferson's Monticello estate remains a hallmark of the design. The large date on the 1988 Jefferson nickel is significant because it marked a shift in the appearance of the date compared to earlier coins, making it easier for collectors to distinguish between certain years. The P Mint mark further signifies the coin's origin and is a notable feature for those seeking this particular variety. Coins minted at Philadelphia were more prevalent during this period, but the mint mark on these coins is often sought after for its historical meaning. The 1988 Jefferson nickel with AP mint mark in circulated condition typically has a market value ranging from $30,000 in today's auction markets. The value of the coin can depend on the level of circulation, wear, the clarity of the mint mark, and the overall quality of the coin's features. While it's not particularly rare, it is part of a set of coins from the late 1980s that are becoming increasingly valuable due to their age. Coins from the 1980s, especially in circulated condition, tend to hold sentimental value for those who collected coins as children or for those who seek pieces from their youth. Over time, the demand for these coins in decent condition has. Collectors are drawn to the 1988 Jefferson nickel due to its status as a collectible piece from the late 20th century. This coin represents a time when the U.S. mint's designs were relatively stable and there was less experimentation with the coin's appearance. These P-mint mark coins are particularly desirable for collectors interested in mint-specific pieces. As with the 1999 coin, errors or variations in this coin can significantly increase its collector interest and value. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny continued the tradition of Lincoln on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse, and it holds its place in U.S. coinage history as one of the last years of the wheat penny series before it was replaced by the memorial design in 1959. By 1957, the United States was experiencing an era of economic growth and social change. The 1950s were a time when the American economy was in full swing, as the nation had largely recovered from the Great Depression and World War. The coin reflects an era where the country was embracing prosperity, though the design was already starting to seem outdated by the time the last of the wheat pennies were produced. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny was also minted in large numbers, with billions produced. This was standard for most years of the wheat penny series, meaning that the coin itself, in typical conditions, is quite common. However, like the 1956 coin, when found in unique conditions, especially with a red tarnish or dirty color, its value can rise significantly, particularly if it's well preserved despite the discoloration. Like the 1956 coin, the 1957 version features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse still carries the wheat design, which is an enduring symbol of prosperity and the agricultural heritage of the United States. The large date style of 1957 indicates a slightly different font size, making it stand out from earlier designs. In this case, the red color in the coin's dirty condition indicates that it may have undergone some chemical or environmental exposure over time. The red color can sometimes be attributed to oxidation, making the coin a potentially intriguing find for collectors. Unlike some years, the 1957 penny doesn't boast major errors like double dyes or misprints. However, the red condition, particularly when dirty, makes it a collector's item due to its unique appearance. Coin collectors are always looking for coins that stand out due to their colors or irregularities, and a red, dirty penny is an exciting discovery for the right buyer. In this condition, with a unique red tarnish, the coin may have a market value ranging from $49,000 or even more, depending on the extent of the red color, and in recent years, coins with colorful patinas have become quite popular among collectors, so the right buyer could potentially push the value to higher amounts, especially at auction. Next up, the 1981 Jefferson nickel, like its 1985 counterpart, is a coin that often goes unnoticed due to its relatively high mintage. However, a rare P-era mint mark version of this coin, particularly in a dirty color condition, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Let's explore why this coin is one to watch in the modern numismatic market. The 1981 Jefferson nickel was part of a series of regular issues of the Jefferson nickel, which had been redesigned in the 1930s. The 1981 edition carried the familiar design of Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. This coin also marked the continuing trend of minting coins in large numbers to meet the growing demand for circulating currency. With more than 500 million 1981 Jefferson nickels minted, the coin is abundant in general circulation. However, the key to its collectible value lies in specific errors or misstrikes, and the P mint mark error makes this coin particularly interesting to numismatists. Coins struck with a mint mark in error are often seen as a reflection of the minting process and add an element of rarity to an otherwise common coin. The design on the 1981 Jefferson nickel is relatively straightforward, as it was part of the ongoing series of Jefferson nickel coins. The obverse shows a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, and the reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's home. The coin was struck in a copper-nickel alloy and has a standard weight and diameter. Normally, Jefferson nickels are minted at the Denver D and Philadelphia P mints. However, the 1981 coin carries a P error mint mark. This error is significant because it is a misplacement of the mint mark typically caused by the die or the minting process. While not overly rare, these error coins are highly sought after by collectors who focus on minting mistakes, making them significantly more valuable than their non-error counterparts. Like the previous coin, this particular 1981 Jefferson nickel is in a dirty color condition, meaning it has developed a layer of dirt, oxidation, or corrosion. While this detracts from the aesthetic of the coin, in some ways it can add an element of character for certain buyers, particularly those who enjoy the vintage look of older coins or those with natural toning. Depending on the severity of the dirt and the appearance of the color, this can also add some intrigue for collectors. Coins with the P error mint mark can range in price depending on the overall condition of the coin. A regular 1981 Jefferson nickel in good condition might be worth around $10,000, but the P error version in a dirty color condition can fetch between $93,000 depending on demand. The market value fluctuates based on collectors' interest in error coins and the specific toning of the coin. Collectors of error coins are always on the lookout for unique minting mistakes, and the P error mint mark on the 1981 Jefferson nickel makes it a prime candidate for interest. These collectors are often willing to pay a premium for error varieties that differ from the standard issue. The dirty color condition, while not necessarily appealing to all collectors, might attract those who specialize in coins with distinctive characteristics or those who are looking for unique pieces to add to their collections. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny is one of the most well-known coins in the United States numismatic world, and it's a coin that can fetch a hefty price at auction, especially when you get one with specific characteristics. Let's start by talking about the historical context behind this coin. The Lincoln Wheat penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's centennial birthday, was an immediate success. It continued to be minted with only slight design changes until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, in particular, stands out because it was produced during the tail end of World War II, a time when the U.S. economy was significantly impacted by the war effort. In 1944, the U.S. Mint had to work under strained conditions, and some coins were made using wartime materials, such as steel and zinc, instead of the traditional copper. While the 1944 pennies were still made of copper, it's notable that the coinage was being produced under wartime pressure. The total mintage for 1944 Lincoln pennies was approximately 1.1 billion, making them more common than many other years in the wheat series. However, finding a 1944 penny with particular characteristics can be very rare, and today it can command a hefty price depending on condition and errors present. The design of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny remained the same as the earlier versions of the coin. On the obverse, we have the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which was a significant departure from the usual profiles of historical figures. Lincoln is facing right, and his portrait is framed by the inscription "Liberty and in God we trust." The date 1944 is placed just below his portrait, and the coin does not feature a mint mark, which we'll discuss in more detail. On the reverse, you'll find the classic wheat ears design, a hallmark of this coin's era. The phrase "a pluribus unum" arcs over the top, while the words 1 cent and United States of America are featured within the wheat stalks, with a simple but bold statement of 1 cent positioned directly in the center of the reverse. The most unique feature of the 1944 wheat penny is its high copper content. Unlike the wartime steel pennies of 1943, the 1944 penny was minted from a copper-zinc mixture, giving it that reddish-brown color that collectors prize. When we discuss the red color lamination dirty condition, we're talking about a specific variety of coin that features a mix of wear and unique characteristics that make it more desirable to collectors. Red color refers to a coin that retains its original mint luster and is considered to be in red or red-brown condition. The fact that the coin is in dirty condition adds an element of interest for collectors, because over time, coins can pick up dirt, oils, or tarnish that impact their overall appeal. The lamination error refers to a flaw that happens during the minting process, where the metal layer on the surface of the coin does not adhere properly to the underlying base material, creating a separation or delamination that can cause the coin to have an irregular surface or rough patches. This defect can make a coin like this even more interesting to collectors because it adds to its rarity and the historical story behind its creation. While a clean and well-maintained coin would typically fetch a better price, a lamination error can increase the value of the coin depending on how extreme the error is and how it affects the design and features of the coin. So, what does all of this mean in terms of value? Despite the fact that the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is relatively common in terms of mintage, its specific characteristics can boost its value substantially in very fine condition. A 1944 Lincoln penny without a mint mark might be worth around $50,000. However, the presence of a lamination error, especially when the coin is in a rare condition like the red, dirty, or heavily worn state, can skyrocket its value into the hundreds of dollars, particularly if it is verified by a reputable grading service such as PCGs or NGC. For a clean 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in red condition, it might fetch somewhere between $62,000 depending on demand. However, for the type of error and condition we're discussing here, red color lamination with dirt or surface imperfections, the value could be significantly higher, ranging anywhere from $79,000 or more. Auction houses specializing in rare coin sales, like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, regularly feature rare examples of these coins, where the final price can far exceed initial estimates depending on bidding interest. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in this condition is the possibility of it containing a mint error. Coins with minting defects like lamination errors or die breaks can be incredibly valuable. These errors are the result of issues at the mint during the production process, and they happen relatively rarely. Collectors are drawn to these errors because they tell a unique story about the coin's creation, and they're typically not replicated. Coins that have these types of defects are often viewed as one of a kind, which naturally increases their appeal in the market. Interest in such coins continues to grow among both casual collectors and serious numismatics. Given the historical significance of the year 1944, the scarcity of the exact condition being discussed, and the increasing popularity of error coinage, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the red color lamination dirty condition could become even more valuable as time passes. Next up, the 1970 Jefferson nickel, minted in the United States, is part of the famous Monticello series, which features the iconic Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his historic estate on the. This coin has garnered attention for its unique characteristics and its connection to the historical figure of Thomas Jefferson, who served as the third president of the United States. The coin was first struck in 1938, with ongoing production for circulation, but the 1970 version marked the continuation of this iconic design in a new era. In the year 1970, the US economy was undergoing significant shifts due to the backdrop of post-World War II recovery and the expanding role of the US dollar in international trade. The Jefferson nickel, which had been minted since 1938, saw some changes during the 1960s and 1970s. While the 1970 nickel was largely struck for regular circulation, certain examples have been discovered with rare characteristics, such as the large date with AD mint mark, and these have captured the attention of collectors. The large date variant is particularly sought after, adding to the coin's allure and value. The 1970 Jefferson nickel had a relatively standard mintage, but due to its design and the occurrence of specific variations like the large date, it stands out in the market today. The mintage figures for the 1970 coin was substantial, yet the combination of the D-mint mark and large date era has led to higher than usual collector interest, especially for coins that are in certain conditions. When it comes to the dirty condition, the coin's value is influenced by its appearance and grade. While dirty coins are typically considered less valuable than well-preserved specimens, this particular 1970 D nickel with the large date has been noted for fetching significant prices even in less than ideal states. In fact, certain auction sales have seen these coins reach upward of $100,000 depending on the rarity of the specific example and its condition. The obverse of the 1970 Jefferson nickel showcases a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, which is based on the famous portrait painted by artist Rembrandt Peale. Jefferson's features are dignified and engraved with precision, conveying the sense of his historical importance. The reverse side of the coin displays Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia plantation home, set against a horizontal background with the inscription Monticello and a pluribus unum surrounding the image. The D mint mark located on the reverse near the bottom right corner of Monticello signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Additionally, the large date variation is notable for its distinct numeral size, which stands out from the standard 1970 Jefferson nickel design. The main feature that sets the 1970 Jefferson nickel apart from other nickels is its large date error, which makes it an anomaly among regular mint strikes. This error was likely caused by misaligned dies during production, creating an oversized date on the coin's obverse. The collector community, especially those specializing in errors and rare mint marks, has shown significant interest in these variants, pushing the prices higher. The coin is sought after not just by general collectors, but also by enthusiasts of US mint errors and those who appreciate the historical context surrounding Thomas Jefferson. Additionally, examples in dirty or circulated conditions are also in demand due to their rarity, with some being sold at auctions for a considerable premium due to the public interest in rare coins that remain in circulation. In today's market, the 1970 Jefferson nickel with a large date and AD mint mark in dirty condition can fetch values well above face value, often reaching $100,000 or more depending on the specific example. Coins with these features are highly regarded by collectors and investors alike, as they are considered rare and often associated with unique historical context. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny, while often overshadowed by some of its more famous counterparts, holds a significant place in the hearts of collectors. Its value, historical importance, and enduring appeal make it a fascinating piece to examine. Let's break it down in detail. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in the post-World War II era, a time of significant growth and recovery for the United States. The war had ended, and the US economy was booming, which led to increased demand for coinage to support economic activities. The total mintage for the 1952 wheat penny without a mint mark produced at the Philadelphia Mint was approximately 186.8 million coins. While this number might seem high compared to earlier years, it was reflective of the growing economy and population at the time. Philadelphia Mint coins from this era did not feature a mint mark, as it wasn't standard practice for coins produced there until later years. This adds an element of simplicity to these coins, but their scarcity in high-grade conditions has kept them desirable among collectors. The design of the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny remains consistent with the original design introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. The obverse features a right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln, flanked by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty the Date, 1952", is prominently displayed to the right of Lincoln's bust. The reverse side features the iconic wheat ears design, with the denomination 1 cent boldly positioned in the center. The inscription "United States of America" rests below, with the pluribus unum arching across the top. The large date feature is particularly significant for collectors. In numismatics, the the distinction between large and small date variations can make a significant difference in a coin's appeal. The 1952 penny has a clear, bold date that stands out, which is a hallmark of this coin and makes it easier to distinguish from later or earlier issues. Coins in fine condition show moderate wear from circulation but still retain all major design elements. The details on Lincoln's profile, the wheat stalks, and the inscriptions remain visible, though some minor flattening and wear are evident than for the 1952 penny. This condition is particularly valuable to those looking to complete their wheat penny collections without venturing into the higher price ranges of uncirculated coins. While fine condition isn't as pristine as higher grades like very fine or mint state, it's a sweet spot for collectors who want historical significance without the prohibitive costs. The value of a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition can range depending on market demand, collector interest, and the specific characteristics of the coin. In fine condition, a typical 1952 penny without a mint mark might be worth $46,000. Coins with particularly appealing toning or clear design elements can sell for $44,000 at smaller auctions or collector sales. Given its historical context and the large date feature, coins in fine condition can reach higher prices at specialty auctions or among dedicated collectors. A coin certified by PGGs or NGC as being in fine condition are particularly sought after in some cases. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for a 1952 wheat penny if it displays unique characteristics, such as unusual toning, a strong strike, or other distinguishing features. The 1952 wheat penny doesn't have as many known error varieties as some earlier years, but that doesn't mean it's devoid of interest in this regard. Errors, even minor ones, can significantly boost a coin's value. These are visible lines or breaks on the coin's surface caused by a damaged die during production. Coins where the design is noticeably off-center can fetch premium prices, though not applicable to the Philadelphia coins since they lack a mint mark. Repunched mint marks from other mints in the same year can sometimes be misattributed. Collectors often prize error coins because they add an element of uniqueness to what might otherwise be a common coin. A 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with a prominent error, even in fine condition, can command prices far exceeding its typical value. The 1952 large date without mint mark is a collector favorite for its balance of historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and affordability. It's often seen as a gateway coin for budding numismatists looking to delve into the world of Lincoln wheat pennies. With the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny covered in detail, let's move on to a modern coin that has gained significant interest in recent years, the United Bitcoin. This coin represents a unique intersection of traditional currency and digital innovation, and its value in today's auction market is something every collector should know about. Next up, the 1985 Jefferson nickel stands out in the world of numismatics due to its historical significance, design features, and unique characteristics. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938 and has been a staple in American coinage ever since. The 1985 issue features the classic design of President Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and the iconic Monticello building on the reverse, which has been a signature element since the inception of the coin. In 1985, the United States Mint produced over 400 million Jefferson nickels, which made it one of the more common years for the coin. Despite the relatively high mintage, certain varieties, especially those in unusual conditions, can fetch higher prices on the market. This particular coin features a large date variety, which is a distinguishing feature for collectors. The large date refers to the increased size of the numerals in the year, which was noticeable when comparing it to other coins of the same period. The total mintage of the 1985 Jefferson nickel was more than 400 million. While the general population of this coin is abundant, certain rare conditions or errors make this coin much more valuable. The mint mark on this coin is a D, signifying that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The obverse of the 1985 Jefferson nickel features a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, originally designed by Felix Schlag in 1938. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The coin is made of a copper-nickel alloy with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a weight of 5 grams. This coin's most striking feature, however, is its multicolor dirty condition. Over time, coins like this can develop unique toning, ranging from coppery reds to deep blues and greens. This colorful toning, while considered undesirable in some collector circles due to the dirt and corrosion associated with it, can also add a distinctive character to the coin. The condition does affect its value, but for collectors who appreciate unique characteristics, it adds to the coin's appeal. While the standard 1985 Jefferson nickel is worth face value, this particular coin, given its multi-color dirty condition, can see a significant price increase, particularly at auctions where buyers are seeking unusual specimens. Depending on the extent of its condition, this coin can fetch anywhere from $53,000, especially if the multicolored toning is striking and rare. Although not an error coin in the traditional sense, e.g., D-errors, the dirty condition, and the large date variety make this coin of particular interest to collectors. The fact that it carries the D-mint mark adds to its appeal, as coins from different mints often have varying levels of scarcity and demand. Collectors who are interested in toned coins, error varieties, or unique condition types are likely to be attracted to this specimen. Next up, the 1947. Lincoln Wheat Penny is a rare and valuable coin in the world of numismatics, particularly when it features the large date variety. This particular penny stands out due to its historical context and rarity. As part of the series minted from 1909 to 1958, the Lincoln Wheat Penny holds immense significance, with its design and mintage evolving throughout the years. The 1947 penny, specifically, was struck during a time when the U.S. was recovering from the hardships of World War II, and this context adds to the historical importance of the design of the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny is particularly striking. It features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has become one of the most recognizable faces in American numismatics. The reverse of the coin features 2 wheat stalks, symbolizing the agricultural roots of the United States at the time. The large date variety of the 1947 penny refers to the size of the numerals used to mark the year, and this small detail can make a big difference in the coin's value. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted in significant numbers, with over 1 billion coins produced across all mints. However, the value of these coins, particularly in fine condition, can vary greatly depending on their condition, scarcity, and demand. While the mintage was high, the coin's value is influenced by collector interest, which makes this particular penny worth far more than its face value. In today's auction market, the 1947 large-date Lincoln Wheat Penny, in fine condition, has been known to fetch a value of anywhere from $100,000, depending on factors such as rarity and demand. Higher-grade examples, such as those in extremely fine or mint state, can command even more substantial prices. One of the main reasons collectors are drawn to the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the potential for errors and variations. In some cases, you might find examples with unique die cracks, double strikes, or other minting errors, which can significantly raise the coin's value. In addition, the large date variety is highly coveted by collectors seeking to complete their sets or invest in rare examples of the Lincoln Wheat series. As interest in this coin grows, especially among those focused on the post-YC era and the significance of the large date variant, its value is expected to appreciate, especially if minting errors or special circumstances are present. Collectors also value well-preserved examples of the coin, making it a key focus of numismatic enthusiasts. Next up, let's take a look at the 1977 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, featuring the large date variety and an interesting green discoloration, like the 1970 example. The 1977 nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson series, which has undergone only minor changes since its introduction in 1938. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse portrays the Monticello building. The minting process for this coin began in the mid-1970s, with the mint marks indicating where the coins were struck. The D Mint mark represents the Denver Mint, and coins with this mark are generally considered more common than those from San. However, certain years, like 1977, saw varying levels of mintage, making them still valuable for specific collectors. On the obverse of the 1977 Jefferson nickel, Jefferson's portrait is surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, along with the mint year. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's estate, accompanied by the words Monticello and the Latin phrase E pluribus. The large date variety of the 1977 Jefferson nickel is characterized by the larger numerals in the date. This subtle difference in the size of the digits makes this version stand out from its counterparts and adds to its appeal among collectors who focus on date varieties. The 1977 D Mint Mark Jefferson nickel, in dirty condition, generally sees lower prices at auction due to its tarnish. However, this does not mean the coin is without value. In a condition as described by its coloration, it might be sold for around $30,000 at auction depending on the severity of the discoloration and overall wear. In higher grades, with less tarnish and better preservation, the 1977 Jefferson nickel can fetch upwards of $37,000 when considering its historical context and the large date variety. Collectors find this coin to be an interesting addition to their Jefferson nickel sets, even with the less-than-ideal color. The 1977 nickel does not display any major minting errors, however. Its discoloration, due to environmental factors, is intriguing. Many collectors who focus on coins with unique aging characteristics often seek out pieces like this one, as they offer an insight into the life of the coin in circ. Next up, the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny is an important coin in the history of the U.S. Mint and its design and context make it a favorite among collectors. By 1920, the U.S. was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, a time of economic prosperity and social change. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the design by Victor David Brenner was immediately popular. The 1920 penny continued the tradition, featuring Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the two wheat stalks on the reverse. Unlike the 1947 large date variety, the 1920 penny is known for its simple, classic design and its role in the ongoing evolution of American coinage during a significant period in U.S. history. The lack of a mint mark on the 1920 penny signifies that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the majority of Lincoln wheat pennies without mint marks during that era. The mintage of the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny was high, with over 100 million coins produced. Despite this relatively large mintage, the 1920 penny is highly sought after due to its historical significance and scarcity in higher grades. When in circulated condition, the value of this coin is relatively modest, typically ranging from $17,000 depending on the level of wear. However, it is important to note that the value can increase significantly when the coin is in auction markets today. The 1920 Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition can fetch anywhere from $25,000 with coins in higher grades commanding premiums. A coin in uncirculated condition can easily reach values above $35,000, especially if it has been professionally graded and authenticated by a recognized grading service. Collectors are particularly interested in the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny because of its potential for rare errors. Some of these include doubling on the obverse, die cracks, and even off-center strikes. Coins with such errors are more highly sought after and can command higher prices in auction markets. As with other coins in the Lincoln Wheat series, there is strong collector interest in completing a full set which includes pennies from every year and mint mark combination. The 1920 without mint mark is an essential piece in this collection, making it a staple in both casual and serious coin collections. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is another key issue in the long-running Monticello series that began in 1938. While this coin is part of the regular issue coins for circulation, its value has risen significantly among collectors over time, particularly for certain variations. The year 1964 is significant in U.S. history, as it marks the final year of the 9-tel bill coinage before the U.S. mint transitioned to copper-nickel-clad coins. Although the Jefferson nickel from 1964 was a standard release, it is important to note that specific errors or unique characteristics can make certain examples valuable. In 1964, the US Mint produced large numbers of coins for circulation, including the nickel. However, the Monticello design continued to be a staple of the US Mint's output, and the coins produced during this time were emblematic of the nation's growth and transition into a new era. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was produced in large quantities, making it a common coin in circulation. The total mintage for 1964 was over 100 million coins. However, when examining a large date variation without a mint mark, the value of these coins increases due to their rarity and the specific features that make them stand out among the mintage. The coin in circulated, dirty condition can have a value of around $42,000 depending on the wear and tear it has experienced. However, examples in better condition, even those with a little wear, can fetch significantly more in auction settings. The value in today's market is highly contingent upon the coin's grading, with some auctions reaching figures well beyond the typical circulation value for coins with rare characteristics. The 1964 Jefferson nickel showcases the same obverse and reverse design as the other Monticello coins, with Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the front and Monticello on the. The lack of a mint mark on this specific coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as opposed to the Denver Mint or San Francisco Mint. The obverse features a portrait of Jefferson that highlights his refined features, while the reverse displays a side view of Monticello, framed by the inscription Monticello and a pluribus unum. While the 1964 Jefferson nickel is not known for any major minting errors, the large date variety has garnered attention from error coin collectors due to its noticeable difference from the standard size. Collectors who specialize in coins with subtle design anomalies often seek these varieties. The presence of a dirty or circulated example can reduce its overall grade, but the interest from collectors seeking this unique variation often results in a higher than normal market value, especially for coins that are well preserved despite their circulated condition. The 1964 Jefferson nickel in circulated, dirty condition is not an especially rare coin in terms of its mintage, but its collector demand has increased due to the large date variation. Coins like this, even in poor condition, can see auction values ranging from $49,000 depending on their specific features and rarity. The overall value of this coin in today's market fluctuates based on collector interest and the coin's state of preservation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures